Hush puppies and quit your barking. It's time for Carnivore Hush Puppies, a long-standing request on this channel. We're going to do it today and we're going to make them nice and crispy on Chris Cookin' Nashville. All right, guys, I have had this request for a very long time, and I think I finally have the acceptable answer to everyone's question of, can a carnivore hush puppy be created? So I'm going to show you guys how to do it today. I think you're really going to enjoy this one. I think actually Wes from Highfalutin Low Carb is going to really enjoy this one too, because I know he's always in search of the perfect hush puppy, just like myself. So here's what we've got going on. I've got all my ingredients in front of me. I'm going to show you how we mix them together. And honestly, this is a pretty straightforward recipe. I'm going to show you the carnivore version and I'm going to show you the keto edition if you would like to make it a little more true to a traditional hush puppy. So let's go ahead and look at everything we've got and mix it all together. First things first, I have 8 ounces of softened cream cheese. You can use any kind of a soft cheese. You could probably use ricotta even, or something like a soft cottage cheese that was all blended up if it doesn't have too much moisture. If you use something other than cream cheese, you might have to adjust the powdered ingredients to make up for the extra water content. But essentially you need 8 ounces of something that is going to bulk this up, but that is super smooth and creamy. This has been softened, so we are ready to mix things in with it. The next thing I have is this bowl, which is a ½ cup of pork panko and a ½ cup of whey protein. You could use my chicken flour in place of the pork panko very easily. You could also use in place of the whey protein something like a beef isolate protein as well. ½ of a cup of some kind of meat flour and ½ of a cup of some kind of protein powder that is carnivore approved. Next, I have 2 tablespoons of egg white powder, and this is going to help bind everything together just to overcome some of the water content in this dish so that it holds together when we go to fry it. Next is an optional ingredient. This is butter powder. It's 2 tablespoons. You don't have to use it, but it's really nice for flavor without adding in any of the water content or extra liquid fat content of real butter. Next, I have 3 tablespoons of gelatin. Any unflavored gelatin will work. I am using beef gelatin, but gelatin is going to not only hold this together and make it springy like it's a dough or a bread product that has starch or gluten or other things in it, it's also going to give us the crisp and the browning on the outside that we need to be like a real hush puppy. Next, I have just a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. It's not much, but it offers just a little bit of lightness as it responds to the acid in the cream cheese. If you're using something like, say, ricotta cheese that doesn't have that same amount of acid, you may want to add a ½ of a teaspoon of white vinegar as well. For just a 1/4 teaspoon and a full 8 ounces of cream cheese, the acid in the cream cheese should be plenty to react with the baking soda. I also have 2 large eggs. That's going to bring this all together and make this a batter that will actually fry. That's the end of the carnivore version, but if you're more keto or ketovore and you'd like to add the more traditional flavoring, I have 2 tablespoons of onion powder and 1 tablespoon of minced dried onion. Those are going to go in to give it that traditional onion hush puppy flavor. You can also add in a ½ of a teaspoon of garlic powder if that's something that you would like to put in there as well. I'm going to keep this one very simple with just the onion powder and flakes of onion. Let's go ahead and get this all mixed together. I'm going to put my soft cream cheese in a very large bowl with high sides because this is going to get very thick and very much like a dough, and we don't want the mixer to throw it all over the room. So I have a high-sided bowl. So let's go ahead and mix the cream cheese with our powders over here. We'll add our eggs. We'll add our powdered meat as well as our protein powder and our spices, and we'll throw that baking soda in last. Let's go ahead and mix it up, and then I'll show you how we make Hush Puppies carnivore style. there is our hush puppy batter all mixed up. I'm gonna let this sit for a little while I get my beef tallow and a pan out to fry these, and I get that up to temperature. That's gonna give this time for the whey protein and the gelatin and everything else that's in there to absorb any of the leftover moisture. It's going to really firm it up, and it's also going to rehydrate those dried onions. So if you're using that, that's another great reason to let this sit for 10 or 15 minutes before we actually go to fry it. So I'm gonna get some animal fat up to temperature, and we're going to fry up some carnivore hush puppies until they're nice and golden brown and crispy. My beef tallow here is at 350 degrees, which is perfect for frying. We're gonna roll these out with wet hands into small hush puppy sized balls, make them whatever size you want, and we're gonna fry them until golden brown and drain them on a tray. Let's get to frying. And there we go. That is the carnivore hush puppies. If you leave out the onion powder and the diced up onion, you can use fresh, or you can use the dehydrated like I did. If you want to use those, then maybe it's a little more keto or ketovore. And I made a little keto tartar sauce to go alongside of it, because who doesn't love a hush puppy and some tartar sauce along with things like their fish? The band members are going to be getting that tartar sauce, keto tartar sauce recipe. So if you guys didn't know, I have a private community called The Band because they support the channel. We really appreciate them. We love them. We have a great community with them. We provide a few extra things like some additional recipes from time to time. In the meantime, let's go ahead and taste these hush puppies while they're nice and hot and crispy.
I am so excited. So I love hush puppies. What's freaking me out already is they smell like hush puppies and they look exactly like hush puppies.
Yep.
So I'm gonna do it without the sauce first, just
Sure.
plain. Stop. How the hell do you do that? Wow. Wow. I want to show this to the camera. Holy cow. Okay, check this out. The inside of it actually looks like bread. You can literally see like the little air pockets, like what would be the crumb of the bread. Holy cow. These are literally so good. They just had me get up out of my seat. It's so good. I cannot believe how crispy they are, yet soft on the inside, doughy. The flavor, I mean, honestly, like I think these may be actual hush puppies. Like there's nothing keto or carnivore low carb that hits me. They just taste like incredible hush puppies, like what I would get at a Southern restaurant down the road. The flavor. Wow. Okay, I'll try some of the sauce. I cannot get over the flavor of these and like how the texture is perfect. The onion is really nice in there. This took you, I feel like, no time. While we were filming and getting stuff like in and out, setting up the different cameras, angles, changing lights and stuff, I think it took you to make all these hush puppies like maybe 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So I mean, talk about like a quick, easy recipe. Oh man.
These would be great alongside steak. We are going to be having these alongside some salmon that I'm doing in the oven tonight.
This sauce with the... I hope Wes is ready for this because my friend, I don't think you are. This is insanely good, man.
It tastes to me like just getting a hush puppy at like one of those like fish and chips type places like Long John Silver's, or you go to a nicer restaurant where they do like actually real fried fish and they serve hush puppies, you know, like fish fries, hush puppies. Like that's what that tastes like to me.
What trips me up is the inside of these. The outside is fried and crispy. When you bite in, knowing that it's not actually bread, this kind of like bread, would you say cornmeal kind of a texture, like what a hush puppy would have? How you got that texture and the flavor and the look of it blows my mind.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Well, guys, that is the Carnivore Hush Puppies, or the Keto or Ketovore Hush Puppies if you want to include those onions. This is an amazing recipe. It's very simple. If you've got a mixer, some animal fat to fry in, like beef tallow or lard or bacon grease or ghee, you can do this, and it is so straightforward. But man, is it amazing. These are so good. And even better, after you fry them just like this, take your leftovers, or even if you wanted to do this intentionally, just make the batch, throw it in a Ziploc bag, throw it in the freezer, keep it in the freezer for probably up to 6 months, and you can pull them out frozen and put them in an air fryer, and you can crisp them back up. Just get them hot through and crisp on the outside. Make sure you don't over brown them, so you don't want your air fryer to be too hot. Probably around like 320 to 350, 10-12 minutes. Start checking them, make sure they're good, and you can have hush puppies ready in an instant to go along with your food. That's what I'm going to do for our salmon tonight. I'm going to make salmon. I'm going to throw these back in the air fryer for just a few minutes to crisp them up right before we eat. It's just like being at your favorite fish and chips kind of place, getting those hush puppies. So there's the Carnivore Hush Puppies. The recipe card will be on my website, which is always linked in the description box, along with links to everything else that I used that would be helpful for you guys. If you have questions, leave a comment down below. Tell us what you're going to serve your hush puppies with now that they are an option for your keto or carnivore diet. Once again, there's the hush puppies. We appreciate you guys watching. This is Chris Cookin' Nashville, my beautiful wife, Ash Taylor. You guys eat your meat. Now your hush puppies. Love your life. And if you love hush puppies, you got to go check out this recipe right over here.
How do you do it?
What about this hush puppy right here? You know you like hush puppies. Everyone got to get a puppy dog.